Executive Wellness Newsletter. Before we dive into this month's topic, I want to acknowledge National Women's Health Month. If you are a woman listening to this podcast, I want to encourage you to prioritize one thing about your health this month. March is also Problem Gambling Awareness Month, and I want to talk about the risk leaders don't see coming. When we think about executive wellness, we think about things like burnout, decision fatigue, stress management, work-life integration, but we rarely think about gambling, and that's a problem. Problem gambling does not always look like casinos or dramatic financial collapse. In today's environment, it often looks like sports betting on lunch breaks, high-frequency small wages, digital reward cycles, trading risk for dopamine, and stress relief disguised as entertainment. For executives and high performers, gambling behavior can quickly intertwine with traits that are often rewarded in leadership, like risk tolerance, confidence under pressure, competitive drive, and decisiveness. The issue is not risk. The issue is unexamined risk. Let's take a look at why this matters. Leaders operate in high-stakes environments daily, and the brain becomes conditioned to adrenaline reward cycles and outcome-driven thinking. Digital gambling platforms are designed to mirror those cycles with things like immediate feedback, variable reward schedules, emotional engagement, and loss recovery temptation. Over time, the lines between strategic risk and emotional risk can blur. And because executives are often financially resourced, early warning signs are easier to conceal. Let's look at some blind spots. High-functioning professionals rarely identify themselves as vulnerable. Common rationalizations sound like, it's just entertainment, I can afford it, I'm disciplined, or it's no different from investing. But there is a difference. Investing is structured. It is built on strategy and long-term growth. Whereas gambling behavior is built on psychological reinforcement loops. When things like ego, stress, secrecy, or emotional avoidance enter the equation, performance and judgment begin to shift, but not dramatically at first. It's subtle. And subtle is where risk lives. When you think about your culture, the culture you're cultivating at work, the culture you're cultivating at home, I want you to consider legacy. The greater concern isn't just personal impact, it's what's being modeled. Children, teens, and peers absorb things like how we handle money, how we manage stress, how we pursue reward, and how we respond to loss. If leaders normalize high-risk financial behaviors as casual entertainment, that normalization becomes cultural. Legacy is not what we say, it is what we consistently model. So here are some reflection questions for you. As a part of Problem Gambling Awareness Month, I want you to consider, do I use financial risk as a stress release? Would I be comfortable if my digital habits were transparent? Have I normalized behavior that I would discourage in my team or family? Am I teaching discipline or adrenaline? Now let's take a look at what healthy risk looks like. Transparent financial decision-making, defined entertainment budgets that you stick to, emotional regulation separate from financial behavior. If you're taking action in gambling activity, let it not be driven by how you're feeling. I know that's going to be super hard because most people are escaping those emotions through gambling behavior, and that is what makes it dangerous. Accountability structures, willingness to seek support early when you see signs that there may be an issue. Wellness is not only physical and mental, it is indeed behavioral. So as a final thought, I want you to remember that executive wellness requires more than resilience. It requires awareness of where influence, stress, and access intersect. In a digital world designed to keep us engaged, leaders must choose to remain intentional. Because high performance without self-examination is not strength, it's exposure. If you would like support in developing healthier executive decision patterns, risk-reward frameworks, or behavioral accountability systems, reach out to me directly. And remember, as always, lead with clarity, lead with humanity, and lead with intention. Until next time.